Yeah, the attorney's already calling, and I'm just going to ignore the phone. Hey, Tony, I bet you have the next story, and I bet it's a happy story.
I do. So we're going to go up from that downer note, and we are going to talk about what the hell is Toyota thinking. So this actually comes from stuff.co.nz. Shout out to all the Kiwis out there. And in particular, one particular Kiwi friend of mine, Alistair Davis, who is the New Zealand CEO of Toyota. Not a friend of mine. So I just wanted to redact that. So he was answering some questions about why Toyota doesn't yet have, or, I shouldn't say doesn't yet have an electric vehicle, but isn't deeper in electric vehicles, because we know that they've had the RAV4, 2 different iterations of the RAV4. They had some electric vehicles way back in the day, at the time that the EV1 was being crushed. Toyota had some other EVs, but he is quoted as saying, "We don't sell EVs of any kind to any extent around the world. We've been a bit resistant to going back to EVs." And he's referring to the 1990s RAV4. Part of it is that we haven't got the cost structure right to be effective in making a real difference to climate change. The reason for EVs is principally to do with carbon footprints and climate change, but the only countries selling large volumes of EVs are heavy government subsidies, and basing a business on government incentive is slightly risky. And then he goes on to say about charging your EV is usually done with burning coal, and all you're doing is moving the fossil fuel from car to the electric company. I mean, he is, as a Toyota representative, he's checking the list of every EV opponent that's out there. And I'm thinking, okay, is he speaking for himself, or is this the actual general attitude of Toyota Global? What do you guys think?
Both.
I think Oil New Zealand is writing him checks.
Yeah.
I think he's justifying the stupid decisions that Toyota has continued to make with their anti-EV advertisements and minimal. The only thing they're doing is compliance cars at best. Finally, they have the plug-in, the Prime, Tony. I mean, as you know well, but and are they talking about that and selling that? No, they're saying, this is a technology that's not ready, and it depends on subsidies, and it pollutes anyway, and it's all just BS.
Yeah, and it's the stuff. It's the stuff we've been trying to counter for the last 15 years.
Right.
How do you think he got so high up on the Toyota chain?
Yeah.
He's just pulling the company lingo, just going along with it. That's what he's doing, checking off the boxes, and that's why he is up that high in the organization.
Oh, Bruce, I want to shout out Bruce in the chat did say that, and it's called out in the article here. I wonder if I could find it, that New Zealand is 80% renewable. But even as such, he argues that
he's just burning coal.
Only the 20% that are on coal will be buying the EVs.
Right, exactly. And you would think New Zealand would be the perfect place to drive an EV, because can you do 250 miles in New Zealand?
Yeah, you put in 2 quick charging stations and you've got the whole island covered.
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, and the people who are buying EVs are also the ones most likely to buy renewable energy or install solar panels, and that argument just doesn't. Gas refining is one of the major electricity consumers, so the amount of electricity that my car uses is about the same as any gas car. And those pollute on top of that. Before it even gets in the tank, they have about as much pollution as I do. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, I heard that some of the energy hitting your solar panel spills over, and you might get a sunburn.
Right. Yes. A solar spill is called a nice day.
I mean...
Tony, as we know, this, reporting on this stuff for 10 years on this show, this has been pretty much, this is the party line at Toyota.
It's sadly
the whole time. And let's be fair, he's not entirely wrong, but that doesn't mean that it's a good position to have.
Right.
He's not entirely wrong that EVs aren't super profitable, and that, there are issues with electric vehicles, but that doesn't mean it's not the right thing to do.
I think they would make a great Lexus. I mean, they're quiet, they're smooth, and if you crank the price up that high, you can make a profit on the luxury market.
Yeah. That's
Oh my God, that's a great idea. It really, yeah, you're exactly right.
But it's the percentage of profit they're looking at.
Zealand.
Well, I've heard of one other company who's doing 25% on a $35,000 car.
Right, right.
But they're
They just
making
have to
40.
try.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if they're doing it as a high-end niche, they can do it profitably. They can advance the technology. They can improve their technical prowess in that area. They can stop bashing it. They can give the people who really want that, well, here's an option for it. Well, it's not as affordable as whatever. Okay, well, that's what we have now. And as the technology progresses, it'll move down market. It's just so wrong to be bashing it like this. And we've seen it with ad after ad from them where they have one of their cars drive by some guy who's standing there charging his car as if people just stand there and hold the cord while they're charging, like
a wall socket.
gas pump. Or, it's ridiculous, some of the stuff they do. And then Toyota's also been calling their cars the self-charging hybrids. That's just ridiculous.
That's the worst.
It's gas powered, damn it.
It's a magical machine.
Charging.
But their point about the subsidies, there's 2 companies in this country right now with no subsidy, well, almost no subsidy left, that are still doing it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And I want to throw out one more thing, which is this. Since their inception in 1999, a total of 1.5 million Prius family members have been sold in the U.S., and that's only in the United States. Now, I bring this up because I'm a moderator on Prius Chat. A lot of people know that. And on Prius Chat, so many Prius owners say, my next car will be full EV. Why doesn't Toyota make an EV? If you capture a quarter of this, you're having a damn good year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. We used to have a Prius, and now we have a Tesla.
There it is.
No Toyota alternative, and it's the same with Dr. Fusco.
If Toyota doesn't do it, Kia's going to do it.
Kia is doing it.
Yeah, well, that's the point. And then maybe Toyota executives will say, people are buying these newfangled EVs. Maybe we should get back in that.
But, I mean, listen, weren't the conquest sales for the Model 3 and Model S Prius, BMW, and Lexus, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know why we can all see the writing on the wall, but those high-paid execs don't see it.
I do. I think it comes down to money. I think it comes down to money. I don't think it comes down to collusion. God, I hate that word. I don't think it comes down to oil companies or anything like that. I think it comes down to a very conservative company that only operates with technology they're super comfortable with, that is super reliable, because they understand that protecting their brand is their prime mission, and they're not going to take a flyer on something. Now, why did they do the hydrogen? Because they're in Japan, and hydrogen and the Japanese government there's reasons for that.
Exactly.
That don't make any sense. But why they haven't done an EV yet? Again, I'm appalled by it. And I've told my friends at Toyota forever that it's horrible. But the response is always lose $8,000 per car. Why should we do that?
Right.
It's the price, $8,000.
They lost money on the Prius originally for the first couple of years.
And that's exactly what I was going to say, Paul. And, I know Russell and I have had some closed door conversations with some people who admitted flat out that, yes, money was lost for the first several years on the Prius.
Yeah.
On any car.
Yeah.
Any car you make, you've got to amortize the development, the production equipment. I mean, and certainly when you're talking about a new technology, that's more difficult. But again, I think you do it for the same reason that Toyota did the Prius. You do it because it's the right thing. Right.
So I have a question. So since the fuel cell electric cars and the battery electric cars share so much, are they going to ride this thing till there's nothing left? Or are they going to take the Mirai and drop that hydrogen tank and put it into batteries? Not that the Mirai is a great car by any means.
Oh, yes. I mean, that's kind of what Honda's done with the Clarity, right?
Yeah.
What's wrong with the Mirai?
It's ugly, and it's slow.
No fueling
Have
stations.
you driven
And there's
it?
no fueling stations.
Okay. Ugly is totally subjective. I won't argue with you. There's no fueling suggestions. You're absolutely right there. There's one in San Diego. I mean, as a car to drive, car's a blast.
But if that car was a pure EV,
it'd be amazing.
At home, it would be kick-ass.
Yeah. I drove the Clarity, and I love that car until pure BEVs came back out, and I was like, no, this is way better. Because you know, after you floored it a couple times, you didn't have to wait for it to recharge. It just kept going.
But you do make an excellent point, Casey. When you started with hydrogen and batteries, if you just swap out the fuel source, the rest of the car is identical.
That's right.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So okay, I have another angle on this article. There were three things that I thought of as I was reading this article. Alistair in New Zealand. Okay. One, he's purely talking for himself, and he hates batteries. Two, this is the official Toyota global stance. Or three, Toyota's doing something and they're not disclosing it. Now, to remind people, Toyota bashed lithium-ion batteries for a very long time, nickel metal hydride, until they went full lithium-ion batteries out of seemingly nowhere.
Out of the Mirai or the predecessor.
Yeah, I'm just throwing that out there that maybe they really are up to something, because they have traditionally denied, and then boom, they dropped the bomb.
Well,
they've said they're working on solid state batteries, and that when they think that battery electric vehicles will be ready for prime time, and not until then. And it's no secret that they're working on it.
But see, the thing is, this guy didn't even say, we're working on it, we'll let you know when we're there. He just shut the door on EVs.
Well, right. So I think that's the right thing to say if you're not selling them today. When people are out car shopping, you want them to oh, nope, I heard this guy say there's no future there, so I'm not even going to consider them until they have a product. And then you change your marketing, and you know that people mostly have a short memory and will forget about all those things you said a few years ago.
But that's why I never considered Nissan for their hybrids. They're like, oh, hybrids are stupid. And this was Going said that. But then when they came out with the BEV, I was like, all right, well, he's been saying this is the way to go the whole time. So I looked at the Leaf. It didn't work for me. But then I considered the Leaf. But I didn't look at any Nissan hybrid because he's like, they're stupid. I'm like, well, they don't agree, and there's no way they're going to do it right because they think it's stupid.
Right.
Well, Nissan hybrids are stupid. But...
Well, I mean, yeah. But at the time, they were selling a hybrid, and he was calling it stupid. I'm like, well, I'm not going to consider theirs. So
and in the same vein, who remembers the car manufacturer who funded most of the think tanks that were bashing the early Prius? It was General Motors. And then who came out with a plug-in hybrid not very long after and had to debunk a lot of their own spittle that they had put out against hybrids? It was so much karma. It was hilarious.
Yeah, they really contorted their marketing to not call that a hybrid. They made up all kinds of other terms just to avoid saying those words. And went through several marketing directors on that project because it was a burnout project.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, allegedly, they were the sponsors of that dust-to-dust survey that we talked about again on the Tesla earlier.
So what would they call the new Toyota solid-state battery? It will be the Toyota self-not charging electric something or other that's not a EV?
The Toyota Unicorn.
Yeah.
Hey.